Pierce XRLab responds to a central challenge in contemporary XR education. Immersive technologies are increasingly present in schools, yet their use often remains fragmented, limited to isolated demonstrations, short activities, or tool-based experimentation. This project approaches XR differently. It regards XR learning as a continuous pedagogical pathway in which experience, interpretation, reflection, critique, and design are intentionally integrated. In this sense, the curriculum is not organized around technological novelty alone, but around curricular coherence, conceptual progression, classroom feasibility, and responsible innovation. Students are therefore guided to engage with immersive media critically and creatively, rather than simply operate XR tools. Pierce XRLab is a standalone XR curriculum designed for middle school and implemented at Pierce, the American College of Greece. It is structured as a 2-year curriculum for grades 8 and 9, organized into 16 units that support continuity, recurrence, and gradual conceptual expansion. The course is delivered through weekly 45-minute sessions, making it compatible with an ordinary school timetable. XR is approached both as an academic subject and as a medium for learning. Students learn about immersive technologies, but they also use them to interpret experience, develop critical media literacy, engage in creative production, and participate responsibly in digital and hybrid environments. The 2-year curriculum is organized as a spiral progression. It begins with orientation and experiential learning, then gradually advances toward critique, ethical reflection, identity development, and design-oriented strategies. In grade 8, students build an interpretive foundation. They are introduced to XR through orientation, embodied experience, perception, illusion, and cultural exploration. They also begin to develop an XR vocabulary, describing presence, attention, perspective, mediation, and the construction of immersive experience. In grade 9, these ideas are revisited with greater critical depth. Students examine identity, credibility, persuasion, participation, and ethical dilemmas, while moving from guided interpretation toward intentional design, justification, and revision of XR artifacts. The curriculum is structured around 4 recurring axes of immersive learning. The first axis, embodied engagement, focuses on presence, attention, orientation, and the role of the body in immersive experience. The second axis, representation and illusion, examines perception, stereoscopy, constructed reality, and the ways XR produces depth, credibility, and mediated forms of realism. The third axis, culture and identity, connects immersive media with museums, exhibitions, avatars, social spaces, and self-representation. The fourth axis, design, critique, and ethics, guides students toward responsible decision-making, critical evaluation, and awareness of the consequences of immersive design. Together, these axes provide coherence across the curriculum and prevent XR from being treated as a set of unrelated applications. The pedagogical framework of Pierce XRLab draws on constructivist, constructionist, embodied, experiential, and inclusive learning principles. Constructivist learning is reflected in the guided interpretation of experience, as students actively construct meaning through observation, discussion, and reflection. Constructionist production is supported through artifacts, prototypes, and design tasks, where learning develops through making and explaining. Embodied cognition is central, since immersive experience involves the body, attention, perception, and movement. Experiential learning connects direct engagement with reflection and revision. Universal design for learning supports access, expression, and participation through multiple pathways. These principles are translated into repeatable classroom routines, guided reflection, collaborative activities, student artifacts, and cycles of reflection and revision. The main contribution of Pierce XRLab is the development of a transferable curriculum framework for meaningful and responsible XR learning. Its value lies in the integration of conceptual development, practical implementation, artifact-centered assessment, and the use of economical devices and materials. Accessible XR tools, concise routines, shared devices, safety procedures, and artifact-oriented strategies support sustainable implementation within standard school environments. The curriculum is also DBR-oriented, meaning that classroom implementation functions as evidence for revision and further development. Future work will extend this pathway through iterative classroom application and refinement. Possible directions include spatial audio, holograms, ecological XR, digital twins, and expanded forms of design-oriented work.